So you've got this amazing SAP integration suite, right? But how in the world do you get it to play nice with the super fast, event-driven world out there? It can feel like you're hitting a brick wall. Well, there's a key piece to this puzzle, the Advanced Event Mesh Adapter. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how this thing ticks.
All right, so here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll cover the big picture. What even is this adapter? Then we'll get into its two main jobs, sending and receiving events. After that, we'll roll up our sleeves and look at the actual connection settings, how to process messages, and we'll wrap up with some super important things you really need to remember to avoid headaches down the line.
All right, let's dive right in. What exactly is the AEM adapter? Well, think of it as the ultimate bridge, the essential translator for your event-driven architecture. So let's just frame the problem here for a second. You've got the SAP Integration Suite, which is an absolute beast for orchestrating complex business processes. But the modern world runs on real-time events. So the big question is, how do you connect that powerhouse to everything that's happening right now? How do you make it react instantly?
And that is exactly where the Advanced Event Mesh Adapter comes in. It's purpose-built for this job. It's the crucial bridge that lets your integration suite speak fluently with the Advanced Event Mesh using its native language, which is the Solace Message Format, or SMF protocol. You can think of it as the universal translator that makes that critical handshake possible.
Okay, so the best way to get your head around this adapter is to see it as having two sides, two completely different jobs. First, you've got the sender adapter. Think of this as your company's inbound mailroom. Its whole purpose is to receive messages from the Advanced Event Mesh and bring them inside. Then you've got the receiver adapter, which is, you guessed it, the outbound mailroom. It takes messages from your integration flow and sends them out into the world. Just about every choice you make when you're setting this up will fall into one of these two camps, inbound or outbound. So let's zoom in on that inbound mailroom first. Let's talk about the sender.
The sender's job sounds simple, right? And it is, but it's also incredibly critical. It just has to consume messages from queues or topic subscriptions in the event mesh. That's it. But the devil's in the details. To get it right, you have to make some key decisions about how it's going to listen.
So when you're setting up a sender, it really comes down to answering three big questions. First, what's the consumer mode? Basically, how do you want to get your messages? Is good enough okay with direct delivery, or do you need it guaranteed? Second, where's the source? Are you pulling from a very specific queue, or are you listening to a broader topic subscription? And third, and this is a big one, acknowledgement. When do you say, yep, got it? As soon as the message arrives, or only after your entire process is finished? Okay, so that's the inbound side. Now let's flip the coin and talk about sending things out. Let's look at the receiver. Yeah, no surprises here. The receiver adapter does the exact opposite of the sender. It takes the finished product from your integration flow and sends it out to a queue or a topic on the Advanced Event Mesh for other applications to pick up. And just like before, you've got a few key decisions to make. First, delivery mode. How important is this message? Does it absolutely have to get there, making it persistent? Or is a fire and forget direct message okay? Next, the endpoint type. Where is it going? To a general topic for anyone to listen to, or a specific queue for one worker? And finally, the message type. What format is the data in? Is it text, binary, a map, or should the adapter just figure it out automatically? All right, so we've got the concepts down, we know about senders and receivers. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts. Let's talk about the actual configuration you'll be doing to make that connection happen. Getting connected is actually pretty straightforward. It boils down to just four things. One, you need the host, the server address. You can even list up to 4 of them for failover, which is pretty cool. 2, you have to specify the message VPN you want to join. Think of it like a private channel on the broker. 3, your username. And 4, and this one is super important, you've got to choose your authentication method. And yeah, let's linger on that last step for a second, because security is everything. You've basically got 3 flavors to choose from. There's basic, which is your standard username and password combo. Then there's client certificate authentication, where you use a private key from your key store. And then there's the modern approach, OAuth 2, which is all about using secure tokens. Okay, so once the connection is solid, it's time to tell the adapter how to behave. This is where you get into the processing tab and really define the logic, making those big choices about speed, safety, and how your messages get handled.
For the sender, that first big decision is the consumer mode. You can go with direct, which is what we call a fan-out pattern. Every single connected consumer gets a copy of the message. This is awesome for things like real-time notifications. The other option is guaranteed mode. Here, the message gets put safely into a queue and is delivered to just one consumer. And it'll wait there, even if that consumer is offline. It's all about ensuring delivery.
Now, listen up, because if you choose that guaranteed mode, you have another really important choice to make, the acknowledgement mode. It's a classic speed versus safety trade-off. You can choose automatic immediate, which is super fast. The adapter tells the broker, I got it, right away. But, and this is a big but, if your process fails later, that message is gone forever. The safer bet is automatic on exchange complete. This waits until your whole integration flow runs successfully before sending that acknowledgement. It's slower, but way, way safer.
And what about for the receiver? Well, its processing decisions are pretty much the mirror image of what we just talked about. You've got your delivery mode. Is it direct for fast, fire and forget messages? Or is it persistent? That's the guaranteed option for critical data that absolutely must arrive. And then you've got your endpoint type. Are you shouting your message from the rooftops on a topic? Or are you slipping it under the door of a specific queue?
Okay, before we finish up, I want to share some incredibly important tips. Think of these as the gotchas. The little things that can cause big problems if you don't know about them. This stuff will save you a ton of time troubleshooting, I promise.
All right, listen closely. Here are 4 things you need to etch into your brain. Number 1, be extremely careful with durable topic endpoints. If you change the topic or the filter on one, it will wipe out all the saved messages. No joke. Number 2, if you're using direct mode fanout, make sure you enable the run on a single worker node option. If you don't, you'll process the same message on every single node, and you probably don't want that. 3, need to pass some custom metadata? Don't just invent a header. Use the user properties header. That's what it's for. And finally, number 4, this sender adapter has its own retry logic built in. But, and this is key, those retries do not increase the delivery count on the broker. This can be super confusing when you're debugging, so just be aware of it.
So there you have it. We've gone from the what and why all the way to the how of the advanced event mesh adapter. We've seen it's a two-way street, we've broken down the settings, and we've highlighted those critical choices you'll need to make. Really, the only question left is, now that you have the building blocks, is your integration ready to step into the world of real-time